What's up, gang? I wanted to offer some thoughts on the running that we have coming up for this Thursday's recovery style workout. You'll see in the caption for the email, but not all of us, or maybe not even most of us, think of recovery with running very often. Unless you have like an endurance background or you did any sort of like cross country, most of us probably run whenever it pops up on the CrossFit workout, which usually means shorter distance and higher intensity. But running, just like any other skill that we play with, like Olympic weightlifting or kipping pull-ups, it has a lot of layers to it, a lot of flavors. And if you allow yourself to explore it with some guidance, you can find different ways to enjoy it and a lot of ways to make progress on it. So for the workout on Thursday, we're going to be running for 6 minutes at a time. It's designed to be recovery in nature to kind of prepare for whatever comes up for the CrossFit Open here on Friday. And I want to give you just a few ideas of what you could think about. Ideally, when we do this, we're going to run 3 minutes out in one direction, turn around and come back and basically end at our starting point at exactly the 6 minute mark. And while you do that, I want your pace and relative intensity to be the same. And like I said, being recovery in nature, the heart rate wants to be pretty darn low. So for some of us, myself included, it won't necessarily be much more than like a light jog, or even some people kind of walking with a certain purpose. But what I want to encourage you to do is just like, let's say we're working with power cleans, we talk a lot about, okay, we're going to try and work on how sharp your landing position is, or how deep you're receiving the barbell, or is the bar landing on your shoulders. Give you something within the context of this giant skill to drill down on for that day, and try and make some objective improvement on that piece, and then bring it back to the whole down the road. So two different things you can consider. You pick one or both when you're running. The first one is I want you to go at a pace, and this will definitely be slower than most of us think initially, where you can breathe in and breathe out with your step count. I'm not even going to go so far as to prescribe anything like specific. If we're in like the 4 to 8 range, basically as you're running, I want you to breathe in for that number of steps and breathe out for that number of steps, and just pay attention to that and see if you're able to maintain it. Pick a number for the day. If you're newer to it, definitely be on the lower end. If you're more advanced, you can consider going a little bit higher. But what you're doing there is you're connecting some purpose to when you're running and how you're fueling yourself with the breath that you're taking in. Like I said, it's one thing to take your mind off just the actual running. It will slow you down and give you some objective measure of improvement. The other thing you can think about, either in tandem or just separately, is when you run, you should be quiet. Like the breathing, how your feet are hitting the ground, it shouldn't make a whole lot of noise. So if you were to imagine someone videoing you, like, it should look fluid, it should look smooth. Again, to use an Olympic weightlifting or a kip swing analogy here, if we're watching or videoing it and it looks kind of clunky, there's room for improvement. The smoothness, the crispness and purpose of what you're doing is indicative of like the quality of what's going on there. So even if when you're running today, again, pulling the intensity back and just trying to be smooth, just like butter. George Staley was a former member. If any of you have been longtime free rangers, you'll remember him. The guy was just like butter when he was running. So smooth, so fluid. He made running look fun. And it probably was a lot more fun for him because it was so fluid. So I want you to tap your inner George running style when you do it. And like I said, do whatever you can to, as you hit the ground with your feet, find ways to relieve or resolve some of the kind of plodding or like, banging nature with it, and see what it does to your perspective on running. Like I said, 2 rounds of 6 minutes at a time. Give yourself something to think about as you're going, and I think you'll take a lot away. Enjoy!